Diaries. I'm your host, Ira Baga, and I'm so thrilled to have you join us for our very first episode. On this podcast, we're hoping to take the first step in our nonprofit's journey to raise awareness and start important conversations around Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, or PCOS, a condition that affects millions of women, yet is still widely misunderstood. PCOS can look different for everyone. It's a hormonal condition that can cause irregular periods, unexpected changes to your body, and challenges with fertility. But beyond the physical symptoms, PCOS can also take a toll on emotional health and confidence. For too long, it's been misunderstood, underdiagnosed, or dismissed, and that's why we're here. Today's guest is someone who has turned her own experiences with PCOS into a powerful advocacy journey. Essence Randall, also known as Kajun's sister on the internet, was diagnosed with PCOS as an adult after dealing with symptoms since she was a preteen. Her story is one of resilience, education, and fighting for better care and more awareness for PCOS patients everywhere. Before we dive in, I just want to say that everything we discuss today is based on personal experience and advocacy work. It's meant to share stories that offer guidance, but it's not medical advice. If you have questions about your health or think that you might have PCOS, be sure to talk with a healthcare provider who can give you personalized care. With that said, let's jump in. Essence, thank you so much for being here. Could you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and how your journey with PCOS began?
Thank you for having me today. I'm very honored to be here. My name is Essence Payne, and I am the Cajun sister of Northwest Louisiana. My PCOS journey started honestly when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I experienced difficult cycles. They were long, they were very painful. And I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I had a cycle that lasted 3 months. Straight 3 months. No stop. No, it was a straight 3 months. So of course, it was alarming and it was scary. I ended up going to the ER, and I was misdiagnosed the first time, which happens a lot with patients, as I learned later on. I went to 3 different doctors, and I finally, with my OBGYN that I'm with now, he diagnosed me with PCOS. And he was all for educating the both of us because he didn't really know a lot about PCOS, but he did test me for it. And when we found out I had it, we kind of worked through it together. And that's something that meant a lot to me because the first couple of doctors, they just kind of wrote it off as dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Mm-hmm. Tried to prescribe me more birth control and progesterone, and it just wasn't working. And I had recently found out that one of my coworkers had PCOS. I had never heard about it. That was my first introduction to it, and she was explaining to me what she was going through. And as she was telling me her story, I said, I'm going through a lot of those. Like, I have a lot of those symptoms, and mm-hmm. My doctor, the 2 doctors that I've gone to, they don't really know what's going on. And so she recommended that I go to see another doctor, which I did. And when I told him that I heard about PCOS, I was having these symptoms, and I asked him would he test me for it. And he said, of course, let's do that first. Because, that's worth could rule that out if that's not it, and then we could move on.
Yeah.
So that's where it started, and then as I realized that it wasn't a lot of education about PCOS out there, I didn't really know anybody that had it. It just kind of, I don't know, it just was kind of automatic. It kind of lit a fire in me to want to let people like me know that they weren't alone. Like, we need to dig down and find out what this is and what's going on with us. Mm-hmm. Because once I started doing my own research, and I found out there were women all over the world that were suffering with PCOS, and literally our stories all started the same. Being misdiagnosed, seeing multiple doctors before you got an actual diagnosis, some of the symptoms. So it was really, it was part of a healing process. It helped me get stronger and become more vocal about my own health care. So that's kind of where it started out. And yeah, I've been advocating usually ever since.
That's so nice. It's so surprising that like you only realized what PCOS was at the age of 30 and so many doctors misdiagnosed you. But like when you heard that you had PCOS, what was like your reaction to that? Were you like, did you feel like you knew what was gonna happen, or like were you just like confused?
I had no idea. I didn't know what to expect. I was confused. I was kind of scared, to be honest, because, like I said, I'd had the symptoms for so long. I didn't know how much it affected my body up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so finding out about it, and like I said, my doctor and I, we were kind of learning together. So I kind of, dove into researching it myself and just trying to figure out what my next steps would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you like learned about PCOS with like, and once you got like involved in it, how did you get involved with like, I know you said like it was basically just like a spark. Like how did you get involved specifically with like PCOS Challenge or like other advocacy work?
Well, once I found out I had PCOS, like I said, I started doing a bunch of Googling and I looked up some things and I actually came across this Facebook group and it was PCOS support group on Facebook. And I said, okay. So I joined the group, and then I saw that a lot of women were making posts, and they were in there basically trying to help each other, like giving each other advice. Because like one of the symptoms of PCOS is like the heavy cramps, because of the fibroids that are on our uterus, and people were telling them what worked for them to do with their cramp, or what they asked their doctor about the fibroids. Another symptom is elevated testosterone level.
Yeah.
And what that means for a woman is that we have that extra testosterone in our system, so that causes hair growth, where normally a woman does not want hair to grow. And it causes like my voice is kind of raspy, and that's because of the testosterone level. My hormone, it's a hormone imbalance.
Yeah.
Women are supposed to have more estrogen than testosterone, so that's where the hormonal imbalance came in. And it was just a lot of encouragement. It was a lot of we're in this together. You just feel like you just want to cry. Well, I'm here for you. You have a shoulder you can lean on. It was awesome. Like I said, I didn't know anybody that was going through what I went through, but here I was in the Facebook group with women literally all over the world that were suffering and going through the same thing as me. But we're in there trying to encourage each other, learning together, and giving advice. And when somebody found out, read an article, we sent it in the group, we discussed it. We became a little family, And in the group, somebody mentioned the PCOS Challenge.
Oh.
And they're based out of Atlanta. And I started researching them. I went on their website. I found all their social media handles. And at the time, they were doing a PCOS awareness walk. I can't remember what city it was in because they do things, all over.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw that they were doing a walk, and it was, just another platform to educate the people about PCOS. Not just educating PCOS patients, the family of those patients, and also the physician, because we need that cohesiveness of everybody learning together so we can help the cause.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I just remember looking at their website and looking at the pictures of the walk that they had done, and I was thinking, I can do this. Like, I feel like I could do something like that. Because, nobody around here talks about PCOS. You always hear about, breast cancer awareness walks and lupus, domestic violence.
Yeah.
And so I really, because I was already doing a lot of community service, like I'm a part of a sorority already out in the community. So I had those connections, and I noticed that, I never saw anything about PCOS awareness. And so I just started to kind of research how to do an awareness walk. And I just kind of took my time with it and made my list, made my phone calls, and then I actually reached out to the PCOS Challenge. And I sent an email, and I was really shocked. I got a reply literally in maybe a day or two, and somebody emailed me back. And it was actually the executive director of marketing and public relations. And I basically, told them my story and told them how interested I was in doing a walk in my city, and if there was any advice he could give me, any guidance. And it literally went from there. He told me certain things that I should look for, and asked as far as permits and my target audience, things like that. So that's what I did. I hit the ground running, and I just kind of like, because I used to be an event planner, so I felt like this is an event, so I can do this. Just kind of pivot and change my focus, and that's exactly what I did.
Wow.
And my first walk, it was awesome. I raised almost $500 to donate to the PCOS Challenge, and I love that organization because you can see the work that they do. You can see where your donations go.
Mm-hmm.
And they do confidence building grants. They do family, planning grants. Because as I said, one of the side effects of PCOS is hair growth, where women don't want hair growth.
Yeah.
And so most times it's on our face, on our chin, and they do grants for people to get treatment, for their face, for a dermatologist. And it's just awesome. About 2 or 3 years ago, we had our first PCOS baby. They were the grant by the PCOS Challenge for it was either IVF or IUI. I can't remember. I'm sorry, but it was the process of trying to conceive. And they were awarded the grant, and they had a baby, and it was an awesome experience. To be able to watch it from beginning to to end. But I have been, so since my first walk, I've been advocating with them. I was asked to be on the patient advisory board after doing my third walk. And this year I just completed my fifth.
That's amazing. All the walks, do you run them by yourself, or do you have like a couple other people running them with you? Like, how does it work?
For the most part, it's kind of like how you do like a project, and it's like your baby. You want to make sure it's done. Your vision is brought out. Mm-hmm. I do have some amazing friends and family members that help me out during the process. They're there working my registration table. They're passing out waters. They are passing out flyers. They do help. But yes, absolutely. I have an amazing support system. Wow. I'm so thankful for them. They do come out and help me every year.
I feel like it can definitely bring the community together as well. And that's absolutely. Just like a really good effort to do. Mm-hmm. You also said that like in the Facebook group, there was like a lot of people from around the world. Were they like, were they around your age, or were they like younger people, or was it just like super different?
It was, I would say the age range was maybe 25 to about 50.
Oh, wow. So like...
Yeah, it was a wide range.
So a lot of people don't really know about PCOS until much later. So like,
what
are some signs that teenagers or like young adults could look out for based off of that?
Well, from my experience, I started my cycle really young. I started my cycle when I was around 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
And um, and honestly, that was a fine in itself, because I started my cycle way too early.
Yeah.
But but I experienced my cycle young, and then there was a gap, and then it started. So inconsistent cycles, major red flag.
Okay.
Because once you start your cycle, you should have your cycle every month.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that the female body just does. It just does. Normally. And the like I said, the facial hair or hair in any area of your body that you don't normally have hair. And then the hormonal imbalance. You can't really there are certain things that your body may go through, and every woman is different, you know. But if you know that your cycles are inconsistent, or when you have your cycle, your cramps are really unbearable, because mine were really hard because of the fibroids I had on my uterus. I know I had one in particular that was pressing like up against my fallopian system.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, because once I got diagnosed, got an ultrasound done, and they found the fibroid. I went in and had surgery, and they removed 7.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they removed 7 fibroids. And that's mainly what causes the cramp.
Oh.
And let me tell you, after my surgery, and I had my first full cycle afterwards, and I didn't have to take any medicine. I didn't need a heating pad. My mind was blown. I said, wait, this is what a cycle is really supposed to feel like. Like, I'm not supposed to be in agony.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, you hurt a little bit, here and there, but there were days where I wanted to, like, call off work. Like, they were so bad. But as a young teenager, I would say listen to your body. You know when something's off.
Yeah.
Because it's your body. And I would say because you can't. They do the diagnosis by checking your hormonal level, your testosterone level, doing an ultrasound, see if you have any fibroids, and then if you have irregular cycles. So it's not anything to really be afraid of. It's better to know early on.
Yeah.
It's better to know in your late teenage years, 1920s, if it's something that you're dealing with, so that your doctor can, work with you on dealing with your symptoms and anything, because PCOS can cause infertility. It's like I said, it's better to catch it early. Yeah, a lot of doctors will tell you, oh, don't worry about it until you're ready to get pregnant. Well, I don't know when that's not really good advice. And unfortunately, there are some doctors out there that do that, and that's where advocating for yourself comes in, or having somebody to talk to that you can trust or that you confide in, so they can kind of help you and guide you on what to ask your doctor, or if you need a second opinion, or if you need to get another doctor.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that,
I feel like it's really important for like people to know that like it's not something to be scared of, and like definitely when you ask someone, they might not know like how to bring it up with their doctor, but like still I feel like a lot of people like gaining knowledge at a younger age would be much better. So definitely.
Absolutely.
And what do you think would be like the best way to bring it up with their doctor if they are scared?
The best way to bring it up, I would say, just be honest. Be as honest and open as you can, because that's your doctor. That's their job. Their job is to take care of you, is to listen to you when you feel like you have a problem, and help you navigate through that. I think the best thing to do is to be honest about your symptoms or how you feel. It could be nothing. but we don't know that, you know, until the doctor tests you for PCOS or tests you for endometriosis. Like it could be, you know, anything. But I think that having a good support system, it would help you to feel more confident about talking to your doctor and asking them, you know, the questions that you need
Definitely. I feel like always knowing
to
is
ask. Hmm.
always so much better.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. It helps you out in the long run.
yeah. So you also mentioned like the Facebook group and how having supportive spaces helps so much. Why do you think it's so important to create spaces where people with PCOS can connect?
I think it's important because when you're going through something and you don't really know how to navigate it, you don't really know how to deal with your feelings about it, it's good to have someone to talk to. It's good to have someone to bounce ideas off of, because you may not have somebody close to you or in your family that have PCOS. It's the same as if somebody is going through um, something dealing with maybe an amputation. They have support groups so they can, talk to each other because they're going through the same thing.
Hmm.
It's the same way with PCOS. Um, because PCOS can cause um a lot of different things outside of infertility. Some women suffer with mental health issues like depression, anxiety. Um, you can like dealing with those type of things because at some point you may feel like why me, or if you're like me, um having not had a child yet, sometimes it can get a little hard, wondering, am I next, or but so just having somebody to be able to talk to that understands exactly what you're going through, it really helps you cope. So that's why I feel like when I started my nonprofit, it was a way to help me cope, and it was kind of therapy for me, being able to help someone deal with issues that we're both going through. We get strength from each other. We encourage each other. Like I said, some of the ladies in the group, in the Facebook group, we became like a little family, and it's kind of awesome to have that somebody to lean on and somebody that can encourage you or you encourage them. And because honestly, that's how the world should be. That's how everybody should be. Like sometimes you just need that little push or that encouragement, or somebody may have an idea, or somebody may be going, like I said, going through one of the same symptoms as you, and y'all can you feel for that person, and y'all can just kind of feed off each other and support each other and help you get through it. So I think support system for anything that anybody is going through, I think is important, especially PCOS patients.
Hmm. Collaboration and communication
Mm-hmm.
is always like key. And I feel
Always.
like for like PCOS or any other issue that like someone is going through, like just
Mm-hmm.
having someone to talk to can always be like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And like other than just that, what resources do you think that like someone who feels nervous or unsure about opening up with their symptoms, or like if they get diagnoses, opening up about having PCOS, what do you think could help them?
I think finding kind of like how I did find the support group, on Facebook, or if you connect with the PCOS challenge, is our PCOS challenge family, our community is awesome. I think I've only met one person physically in person. Everybody else has kind of been virtual, emails, Zoom meetings, but I feel like I've known them my entire life. So I feel like just kind of looking for a support group, because I mean, honestly, we're in the age of, the technology. So, it's a lot of
Yeah.
things that are at your fingertips, you know. So I definitely believe in using that to your advantage. Um, there are a lot of, like I said, there are a couple of groups on Facebook. You probably can find some on Instagram. There are TikToks out there of people, PCOS advocates. And if you, like I said, find the PCOS challenge on every platform, all of us, we are connected on that some kind of way. So if you can just kind of look out for those all those mediums and the platforms that they're on, you can connect with somebody. You can find somebody in the comments Y'all can end up having a conversation and it could just stem from there. But just being able to see how we communicate with each other and how we kind of help each other through it and put each other at ease, it's not hard for somebody to embrace you, in the PCOS community and help you um figure out who you might need to talk to in your city, or because there are a lot of PCOS advocates that have resources, everywhere in different cities and states, and they could, help put you in contact with somebody that you could talk to locally.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's like amazing. And
Mhm.
just like hearing you talk about it, I can feel so much like warmth and just so much positivity. Um, and I feel like just growing the like group a lot and how many people interact with this can be just
Mhm.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Just also, how do you think that like people can get involved with awareness efforts? Like PCOS Challenge is
Mhm.
like a resource group, but it's also like awareness.
Mhm.
How do you believe that like people can start these or either just like collaborate with these?
I think that they can do the same thing that I did. You can reach out to PCOS Challenge, like if you go to their website, where you can send a message or ask a question, and somebody, like I said, they got back to me within a day or two, and that was 7 years ago. So, so like now I'm pretty sure they're even quicker. But I think that if somebody wants to do something in their community, or where they live, or even if they want to advocate, on a different level, reaching out to the PCOS Challenge, it really it can help, because like even if you're just doing something like printing out some flyers with information on it, and just kind of want to pass it out to people, that's something. It's so nothing is too small. But like I said, like just printing out something on information card, or starting a conversation like you're doing. I feel like what you're doing is so commendable, because there are not a lot of PCOS advocates that don't have PCOS. So when there's somebody, who isn't suffering from PCOS, but they still want to help, that's a blessing, because that's ultimately what we strive to, and that's how the awareness works. That's how advocating works. We need to stand up and speak out and get people to realize you do not have to suffer in silence. You don't have to do this alone. And there are women out there who are going through it, who have been through it, who can help. And
Hmm.
like I said, you can do something like if you go to your OB doctor and you ask them, or your pediatrician, do y'all educate your patients on PCOS? You know, because I know like now, since I've been diagnosed, I know my OB, they they do talk about PCOS. I could tell in their office, and even the endocrinologist that I had that came to speak at my brunch this year, she was excited because she was like, "Yeah, I talk about PCOS to my patients all the time, and I would love for you to talk to my patients." And like that was a whole another connection that I made just by asking her to come speak at my brunch, you know. And I'm not even a patient of hers yet. But it was still that, seeing how much I want to help people in my same situation, even if they don't feel comfortable speaking up. That's what we're here for. If you don't feel I'll do it for you. Like, like we advocate for those who are shy or nervous about speaking up for themselves, but we want to give you that confidence to do it for yourself, because ultimately it's your body and it's your health. Yeah.
That's amazing, and thank you. But
You're
I feel like
welcome.
everyone who's just like spreading awareness, just like you and your nonprofit and walks, that's just incredible, and it's definitely
Thank
gonna help
you.
so many people.
Hmm.
Um,
Thank you.
if you could leave listeners who are dealing with PCOS or just young women with one piece of advice, like or encouragement, what would it be?
I think it would be, you don't have to go through this alone. You don't have to go through it alone. Pay attention to your body. It's a lot of things that happen and go on that we kind of brush off,
Mhm.
and then once we find out something later on, we kind of regret it. And I would just say, just listen to your body, and just know that even if you're not suffering with PCOS, but you may have a symptom of something else, there are people out here that will still support you. There can find a support group, and having a strong support system, you can get through anything. You can, and I encourage all young ladies to listen to and take care of your bodies because we only get one. And the sooner that you start taking care of it and listening to it and going to your regular checkup, the better off we could be and possibly prevent something. I'm always about being proactive, you know, and I just if what I do, reaches somebody who didn't have a voice, but they have one now because of something I said, then I've done enough. And I feel like I'm doing what I was meant to do, and I love doing it. So yeah, I think that's I could go on and on, but
No, this is so powerful, and I feel like even though like I haven't done much at all, like anything actually, but like this is just so beautiful, honestly. So
thank you,
just to like close off, Essence, thank you so much for coming here today and sharing your story. Hearing about your journey and the incredible work you're doing is just so inspiring. And I know it's going to help a lot of people who might be feeling alone or unsure about their own PCOS journey. To all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in into this first episode of PCOS Diaries. This is just the beginning, and we're so excited to continue exploring the many layers of PCOS together. Don't forget to share this episode and subscribe or follow the podcast to get notified on any updates. Be sure to tune in next time as we dive even deeper into PCOS awareness and support.